When I first started DMing, there are two things that I understood. One, it's hard. Two, any moron can make it harder. So, I try to use my military know-how. 26 years in the military has taught me to keep it simple, stupid. So, first thing is first, borrow other people's stuff. Two, you might notice that it is really difficult to schedule and keep a campaign going over an extended period of time with the same people. So, what I recommend is one-shots. Now, you could go onto YouTube and you could find lots of information about 10 different ideas for what to run for one-shots, or some great ideas that are just like a little blurb of how to run a one-shot. Me personally, when I got started as a DM, I scoured YouTube and watched other people DMing, and I watched them run through modules and campaigns that I wanted to run through, like Curse of Strahd or some other module that I can't think of right now. But there's very few information like that for one-shots. And the stuff that is out there, it's like a 6-hour long one-shot. You can absolutely do a 6-hour long one-shot if you like to. But me, I'm trying to put a series together of one-shots that can be run within 3 to 4 hours, actually going through and showing you that one-shot with players that are brand new that I've never really met before or worked with before, or sometimes people that I've worked with before, but with new characters, and get the ball rolling and run through the entire thing in about 3 hours. Now, I've got a couple that I'm going to be doing from this book. This one is going to be coming from this book. It is Mother Knows Best. The way that I structure my one-shots is, and even the notes for my campaign, is using PowerPoint. Again, the military taught me well. I am a PowerPoint ranger. So what's nice about that is I can provide a visual cues. I'm not great sometimes at being able to describe the room in a way that is captivating. I'm not a writer, right? So, and I don't want to read off of a slide or read out of notes what the freaking room looks like. But what I do love is AI, or acquiring other people's stuff with a Google search and taking those images and putting them into my PowerPoint and having them help me to describe what that room looks like. I can also use those images as the actual maps. I have my TV laying down flat and the images being projected. If you would like to use the notes that I do, there is a link to be able to download them in the comments and also in the description. And I highly recommend this book for the one-shots in there, and also some of the amazing tables in there. One of the tables that I start off with when I start my one-shots is the random party generator, party makeup maker. What's awesome about it is you want to be able to have your party start to come together and have the ability to kind of play off of each other. If it's a bunch of strangers, if it's a one-shot, people haven't really worked with each other much, or they've never really played DnD and they don't really know what they're doing, this is a great jump start to get them laughing and interacting with each other. So what I do is I have them each write on their character sheet, or have a sheet that has some blanks on it, right? And then what it is around the table, this is how you know the person on the right. So you roll a D100. Let's say it comes up with a 17. Okay, go through. All right, so number 17. So for you, Mike, and for you, Natalie, you are benefactor and ward who are currently on the lam. All right. And so Natalie, you know Jessica. Roll a D100. 42. You are poet and muse who gossip about each other incessantly. All right. Next one, your summer camp counselors who despise children. You already start to develop a relationship between the characters, so they have something to be able to work with. They're not just random strangers that met in a tavern. Some of them are random strangers that met in a tavern, and some of them are camp counselors from the same camp who absolutely hate children and want to talk about it. It is a great way to help jumpstart things. Now, for this particular module, or this particular one-shot, somebody needs to have a mother. And the way that I did it was I just had everybody roll a d6, and whoever rolled a 6, that was likely to be mother. Or what's fun is if there's somebody that ends up being siblings in your random table generator, you can do it that way. But it's pretty simple. Just pick out somebody that has whose mother it's going to be. So, a brief overview of what this one shot looks like. So it is mother asks for your help in helping to stop a dark ritual that some cultists are getting ready to do that evening. There's a limited amount of time. It's about sunset, and the ritual is supposed to happen at midnight. Mother needs your help, and all she needs you to do is gather 3 items from some friends of hers who she wants to make sure that these cultists don't mess with. She's realized what the list of the items are and doesn't want her friends to get messed up. She's still trying to find the location of the 3rd one. Now, then of course, drama ensues, right? Now, what's nice about this is it's your mother, so you should do it, right? But as you can imagine, some of your players might resist this idea of I don't know if I trust this. What if she's one of the cultists? What if she's this? What if she's that? Hopefully, your players can go along with it. So the way that I ran it was having sending being cast to one of the players' characters and meet me at the sunset spot. I need to talk to you. They're walking around in the marketplace and, hey, there's a ritual, need you, come now. And being able to roleplay a overbearing mother is a great dynamic. People get had a lot of fun with it. Lots of mom jokes start to come out as all you need. Honey, I can't do everything. I just need you to go out and get a few things for mom. All right? It's not a big deal. I'm just asking you to help kind of save the world from a demon being resurrected, honey. But if you're too busy playing with your friends and you can't do this for mom, I totally understand. Your father would be so disappointed. Just really play it up and make sure that the players feel that sense of mother. In these slides, I have some visuals of a nice mom. She's a magic user. She is a former. She's not quite in her prime anymore, but she's been an adventurer. Chances are the other players trying to kind of follow in her footsteps a little bit or completely avoid her. Either one. Got some images of what it looks like for the as she's describing kind of what I call the mission brief. All I need you to do is go get these 3 items. Now, those 3 items are a scarf of resolve, a mug of retention, and the ashes of the undying. Now, Mother doesn't know where the ashes of the undying are. They're at some temple, and she's trying to track down of the 15 different temples that may be in your homebrew or in the world that you're using actually from the source material. But she knows where the other 2 are. So for me, I have my own homebrew world, and so I knew exactly which cast of characters I wanted to have these items, and to be sent by Mother to go and grab them. These individuals have worked with Mother before, and they're collecting them up for being able to make safe. Give the players a little bit of agency or a feeling of agency, right? Hey, you have 2 options. Do you want to go here or do you want to go here? They both lead to the same spot, because you're eventually going to come to that position. So one, they can figure out which one they want to go to first. It doesn't matter. But if they go to the tavern, that's where they encounter in looking for the mug of retention, they encounter two ghosts that are, so the book lays it out of these ghosts are fighting and they are trying to possess. So the best way that I could figure out how to kind of role play it and have it make sense was that that these two dwarven ghosts were trying to get drunk. They missed the feeling of being drunk. Now, you can't do that as an apparition. So, how do you do that? You possess people and you get drunk, right? And so that's their opening move. That's their opening salvo is to try to possess the other characters. I have in my photos too that they have been getting into fights with each other as they're trying to get drunk and fight and just feel alive again. And that is the source of some. It upsets people. They don't like the bodily autonomy being threatened, and so immediately trying to possess one of the players' characters after they enter the tavern is usually going to initiate that initiative order. I think it's a good idea to activate, just kind of give that indication that, hey, this ghost is coming up to you. They might want to, hey, RP a little bit. You can definitely try to have them persuade or do anything. Another good point with the one-shots, we talked about trying to keep it within 3 hours, right? So I have certain benchmarks that when I'm going through this one-shot that I want to be able to hit. One is they need to have both items by within the first hour. So depending on how long this interaction can influence that. It's not too hard to grab the scarf from the merchant place, but if they went there first, you might want to have that be a pretty quick exchange and not spend too much time with it, because you want to kind of keep your one shot into those 3 acts. Probably should have discussed that 3 acts earlier. The beauty of editing. Hopefully I did that. Did I do that? Good. All right. So, there's these 2 ghosts that they just pretty much have the ghost stat block, withering touch, being able to horrifying visage, some stuff that can really mess up your players and have some fun with. Possessing one of them and then having the party try to figure out how they're going to get them unpossessed, and being able to figure out that if you knock them unconscious, it does. One player had a pretty good idea. He's like, hey, is there any way that I can just unarmed strike or use the flat part of my axe and try to knock this character unconscious? And I said, yeah, we could do that. And he failed. He failed that roll. All right. Once they have the first item, giving the players or characters a heads up. Hey, it feels like you're being watched. It's one of those Baldur's Gate 3 failed perception checks kind of moments, and then they move on to the merchant to try to get the Scarf of Resolve. The Scarf of Resolve gives the it's kind of almost kind of cursed in the sense that it increases the resolve of the person that is wearing it. And one of the things that it increases is the resolve of, I don't want to give this item up. Now, a fun way to, since we're doing Mother Knows Best, is to have the merchant have a crush on Mother and just want a date. It's a fun RP moment as the character, quote unquote, as they said, pimps out their mom in order to get get this item for Mother. Hey, it was her idea in the first place. So they have 2 of the 3 items now that they need. They have the Mug of Retention, which is a magical item that when a liquid is poured into it, it can produce endless amounts of that liquid. It's actually 20 gallons a day. And then there is the Scarf of Resolve that grants advantage on wisdom saving throws and charisma saving throws, and also I think charisma based kind of enchantments type thing, something like that. You can see how the cultists are going to use the Mug of Retention in order to generate a amount of blood that they need in order to do this, and also Scarf of Resolve is going to help the cultist fanatic with being able to do to take control of that demon that they are resurrecting, or their demon god that they are attempting to bring into the material plane. Once the party has both of the items that are needed, this is when the cult ambushes. So the way that I like to initiate my ambushes is with an assassin. You can find the assassin block in the Monsters Manual. It is a devastating attack, especially if these level 3 individuals have if nobody has it's going to be fairly unlikely that somebody has a passive perception above 18, right? So the likelihood that a rogue assassin could defeat their passive perception, especially from a elevated position up on top of a rooftop, is pretty good. All right, or at least is going to get a surprise round on a couple of the characters. So launching the attack with a assassin, and that attack can usually drop one of the players. Because of this, the way that I work it is Mother gives one of the players in the initial talking to of the mission brief, gives them a scroll, or in my world, a crystal of Revivify. It gives them a little bit of extra longevity, because I want, in a one-shot, I want it to feel dangerous enough that they feel like every time that they get into a fight that they're going to die. So my monsters and my cultists, they hit harder, and that gives that kind of drama to the one shot, because they're not going to be surviving for an entire campaign. It's just for tonight, right? You can also have the merchant that has the Scarf of Resolve give a potion of healing, which can help out with getting a character back up on their feet during this ambush portion. But you want to hit hard during this ambush. So the 2 people that I have ambushing are, first of all, a cultist that comes up and tries to pickpocket whoever has one of the items. And once they discover that, or if they don't discover it, once they discover that something is missing on them, to have an arrow go straight through their armor and drop them. If they have both items, the other person gets the arrow, and then the assassin stealths and goes down to try to recover that item from the other person, while the mage is casting fireball down into the alleyway. It's a devastating attack. You don't want a TPK, but you don't want to not feel like there's possibly going to be a TPK. It's a hard-hitting thing. In order to help take a break at this point, this is when, after I've done that initial attack, then I'm taking a break in order to help set up the next evolution of the battle. And to make that fun, I made a song on Suno, or Suno, or whatever it is, and put a music video to it, and here it is. And this is available for download down in the comments as well.
Assassins, arrows. These cultists mean to kill us all. Mother knows best. Son of a bitch. Are we all gonna die? Mother knows best. Roll the dice, fuck the rest. Next time we should tell your mom. No way, stop the cult, show yourself. No way, no way, stop the cult. No way, no way, stop the cult. Myself. No way, no way, stop the cult. Ritual yourself. These cultists mean to kill us all. Mother knows best. You son of a bitch, are we all gonna die? Mother knows best. Roll the dice, fuck the rest. Next time we should tell your mom. No way, stop the cult, ritual yourself.
I recommend. We're now into Act 2, so the second hour of this one shot, a lot of it's going to be consumed with combat. Combat takes a lot of time. If it's taking too much time, there are ways to break contact, have them get out of there. They don't want to all die in this moment. They're looking to die in service to their god, and this is just a means to an end. So if they can get the items, they do their best to try to get those items. If it looks like the fight's turning against them, they will beat feet out of there. You can have a few cultists that the party members can slaughter, but you got that dual guns of the assassin up on the rooftop and the mage up on the rooftop. Both of them are scared little bitches. They will hightail it out of there as soon as they are confronted well with a good force. So this is only a few rounds of combat. Once they are licking their wounds and trying to get their bearings, that's when they get another call from Mother, who says, "I have found the ashes, but the cultists have found me. I'm at the temple of insert temple here. They're coming for me, and they're about to get me." And then the sending ends, and it ends. When I was doing this, it ended in such a way that that you could tell that it wasn't ended by her reaching her word limit or stopping speaking. It was like the connection ended as if she had gone unconscious. Because of the way that Mom had been RP'd between me and another player, that turned out that the way that he knew that was because Mom used sending all the time to tell him to go and do things like pick up, her laundry, or to go and pick her up a pack of smokes, and you could tell that she was a little too much into her cups because... So, it ends because she goes unconscious. She gives the location of where she's at, and now the party can rally the party around. They just kicked our ass. We want to go and kick their asses. They've got Mom, and every time it seemed like the whole dynamic shifted, and they were much more interested in going out there and making things happen. I had the merchant in my scenario has a crush on on Mom, so he has information about being able to help them. We'll provide them with some additional magical items if they need them, or they can go to the tavern and do the same, get some information, and everybody's got a crush on Mom, and so that adds another dynamic. They can either find out information from going to one of the previous NPCs and trying to get information about how to access where this ritual is happening, or they can go to the temple and encounter a cultist that is coming up from a secret passage, going on a Starbucks run for all the other cultists, and figure out a way down into the temple. Once they get down there, if they're not able to gain the element of surprise and have to go down the way that the cultists have been going in and out, there is the assassin with a ready to action, ready to execute Mother if they take another step forward. All they want is the is the items, or it may be that you're not going to interrupt our ritual. We've got this going on. Depends on where you've gotten to at this point. You could have a smaller combat scenario that happens as they're trying to infiltrate into this ritual. This is you had quite a bit of. You're going to eat up a lot of your hour for this second act during the ambush, and you're going to be able to eat up some time in the interactions between the players and characters as far as what the strategy is going to be of how to go into this scenario and try to get the drop on these cultists. At that point, then it is going to be the final act is going to be a final combat scene. And so this is where you get to break for your second at the end of Act 2. And we have another video.
To summon a demon, you wanted to raise a devil. You should have asked mother, she already raised a beast. You messed up, mother knows best. Who gave us a fight? Your ambush failed, we are still standing strong. Now you messed up. Now you messed up. Mother knows best. Now you messed up. Mother, these cultists are dumb. We already had a fight, ghosts in the night.
All right, now, when it comes to the final battle, a couple different options that you could look at is that they execute Mother. It turns out that there's a big reveal in the source material. There are a few different options that I decide at this point. At this point, before we take that break, I say roll a d6, and of the 6 options, Mother is actually the head cultist that's been using the party. Okay, that's not going to come as a surprise to anybody. A lot of them they have that player paranoia. Number 2, Mother will be transformed into the demon as a part of the ritual, but still maintains her own consciousness and turns on the cultist. 3, it is an entry-level cultist. She is an entry-level cultist who uses suggestion to try to convince her child to join them. 4, will be killed by the rituals beyond resurrection magic because the ritual was so ill-conceived. 5, will fight alongside the party as a level 10 mage. 6, is not Mother at all, but has been instead a doppelganger impersonating her. So when I ran this, I've run this twice. One time it was the doppelganger, and one time it was Mother being a level 10 mage that fights alongside the players. In both scenarios, the cultists had not gotten the mug of retention, which is the one that will help to generate the blood. So in the combat that ensued, right, there was a multitude of cultists. Cultists are weak, right? Your players should be able to just mow them down. And while they were mowing down the cultists that are all standing around and had gotten the drop on them because they had gotten the element of surprise with the way that they had run it. I described, like a good DM, the effects of their weapons as they just sliced into these cultists and blood spewing all over all over the floor of the ritual chamber. Your battle axe just hews the guy in half. There's blood everywhere. And I kept mentioning blood everywhere, blood everywhere, blood splurting, splattering all over the floor. And they weren't really getting it. And that was the fun of, hey, by the way, you just helped contribute to the summoning of the demon god that these cultists were trying to resurrect. They didn't need the mug of retention at all. And so now you watch as they're killing everybody, and then the final act of the cult fanatic is to mutter the last incantations and then the summoning circle begins to glow. That was how I run it. You run it however you want to. It's a lot of fun. But what's also fun with this module is a summoned demon, a large fiend, is going to be fairly difficult for your level 3 party to be able to handle. But there's the possibility that the summoning goes horribly wrong. So you roll on the sad summoning table, and it fails or it succeeds. With a 1 it fails, with an 8 it succeeds with no caveats, and 2 through 7 successes with either 3 or 2 caveats. With those caveats, there are things like appears in the physical form of a baby goat, is a complete pacifist, is easily distracted, has only 12 hit points. Things that seriously nerf this demon. Now, it might be though where they only get a few that doesn't quite incapacitate it, but there's a lot of them in there that actually. So there's a few that are in there that aren't really going to nerf it. Appears in the form of baby goat, still has all of its abilities. Is easily distracted. GM can decide how much that affects it. Must communicate through song. That just makes the demon more terrifying. Refuses to move. Has 0 charisma. That doesn't really do anything. Only wants to go to the pub. You could still be. I've seen individuals that are still highly aggressive because all they want to do is go to the pub. But there's other ones. Has only 12 hit points. Is a complete pacifist. Turns against the people that summoned it. Is laughing hysterically and can't stop. Floats like a balloon, as in the levitate spell. So pretty much just turned it into Pennywise. Depending on how your session has gone, how much time you have left, you can have this combat rage on. You could have it TPK the party. You could have them be easily defeated. You could be fighting Mother along with the demon, or the demon can show up and be a laugh line. That was how it turned out for the times that I have run through it. So this is just, if you want to check out a live stream or a run through that I did in the back room of a bar with some individuals that came out interested in doing a one shot, you can check that out. I've had the link posted down there. If you'd like to use the notes that I use and some of the visuals that I use, there's also the ability to download it down there. And I appreciate you watching this video and appreciate you supporting my content. My goal is to help combat veterans with being able to continue to go on adventures without increasing their VA disability rating. And that's what I'm trying to do with combat veteran games. And I appreciate it. Good luck. Keep it simple, stupid.